know what I mean by rough cut. You know, the color's still uneven. I saw misspelling. And I'm thinking, oh God. But this is one of several stories that you'll see that have threaded together the Japanese-American involvement in Tohoku with the people there. Later on in the documentary, you'll see the Sansa Cafe and the very special profile of the contribution that Daryl has made. Many of you here in the audience today have raised money for some of the renovations and the improvements of the Sansa Cafe, and that will also be part of the documentary. So, you know, people keep asking Deborah and me, so why are you doing this documentary? What messages do you want to convey? And we have several. First of all, like many of you, we have become pretty vested in what's going on in Tohoku. The video doesn't, you know, you get a sense of the devastation, but when you talk to the people, their lives will never be the same. We don't want, you know, like when we spoke earlier in LA, we interviewed some of you here, Patty, Steve Nagano, Tina Tajima, and the one thing that I think we've all come away with is the people of Tohoku don't want the rest of the world to forget what happened there. We want to also show that there is this real strong sense of self-determination and resilience among the people in Tohoku. You know, although when you saw Uchida-san and he seemed a little betrayed by what had happened, what we're seeing are some very encouraging signs in other parts of Japan. You know, there are people in Tokyo, in Tohoku in their 30s and 40s who see this as a real opportunity to move Japan along. And some of them giving up their careers on the fast track in Tokyo and starting NGOs, building businesses in Tohoku. You know, up until now, like the youth in America, they felt like maybe their voices haven't been heard or there hasn't been an opportunity for them to try and do new things. And so they see Tohoku as a way to explore, to show how new ideas can be put into motion. And so that's very exciting for us, and part of the documentary will show that as well. What we also want to show is the role of Japanese Americans in U.S.-Japan relations and how we, on a very grassroots sort of micro level, can play an important role there and have a real impact on communities. What's next? You know, the government, especially for those who live in the temporary housing, say that things will return to normal or be better in 5 to 10 years. I don't know, I can't, you guys will have to express your own opinion. I don't see that happening in 5 to 10 years. I see another generation, maybe 2 generations, you know. The Japan culture is such a consensus-building culture that there seems to be a lot of time taken in figuring out what to do with this land that has been devastated by the tsunami. You know, do you rebuild on basically a stretch of land that is as long as Santa Barbara to San Francisco and goes inland 10 miles? I mean, that's a lot of land, knowing that in the next year, 800, 1,000 years, that a tsunami of that strength is sort of inevitable. Or do you let it just go back and be restored to the way it was before there was any building at all? But whatever happens, it's going to forever change the people who lived in that area and who may never be able to return to the land that generations of their family had occupied. Certainly, they're going to need more help there. And I think right now the easiest way for many of us to do that is financially. In the program that they printed out for today, Daryl and Tina have listed a number of ways that you can help financially. But I think, again, the words that they want to make sure that keep on resonating in our minds is don't forget. You know, even when we were in parts of the city of Sendai or in Tokyo, if you're away from it, it's very easy to forget what had happened back on March 11th, 2011, and that the people are still living with. And so I'm sort of preaching to the choir here because you're all here on a Sunday afternoon, but I think one of our charges too, and to help continue sort of the crusade for these people in Tohoku, is to tell our colleagues, our friends, our family members about what happened there so that the people in Tohoku aren't forgotten. So thanks very much. We hope that the documentary, well, we plan for the documentary to be done by the end of the year. We'll certainly use the network to tell you when it's going to be appearing. We're talking to a couple of TV deal situations right now, but we appreciate all the support that we've gotten so far, so thanks.